Hi there, my name is Victoria Bowler, and today we get to explore more possibilities for vocal improvisation. In the last video, we talked about open-ended improvisation, where there were infinite correct answers that students could give. Basically, anything that students responded to in their singing voice was an appropriate response with that open-ended improvisation. Today, we are going to narrow in our range of correct answers by improvising with a specific tone set that we take from our melodic sequence. I'm calling this curricular improvisation because the musical material that students use is going to be linked back to a specific goal in our melodic curriculum. So, in other words, we are still improvising, but with specific musical vocabulary. So, here are 3 activities to try. For lower elementary, let's sing Cuckoo in the Clock. It goes like this. Cuckoo in the clock, won't you come out when I knock? That's it. For this game, we're going to walk around in open space while we sing the song, and then at the end of the song, the teacher or another student is going to clap or play an instrument a certain number of times, and students hold up fingers for how many knocks they heard on the cuckoo clock. So, we're walking around in open space. Cuckoo in the clock, won't you come out when I knock? Students stop moving and listen. And then all around the room, students are holding up 3 fingers. So like I said, this can happen with clapping, it could happen with rhythm sticks, it could happen with a barred instrument. There are lots of options here. Okay, so that's the game. Very simple, but so much fun. So now let's extend this for vocal improvisation. The cuckoo bird is in the clock, but it's not going to come out. Why do you think that is? There could be a number of different reasons. So maybe I sing, won't you come out when I knock? And the bird might say, no, because I'm brushing my teeth. Or the bird might say, no, because I'm brushing my teeth. Or, no, because I'm eating a sandwich. Or, no, because I'm eating a sandwich. Or, no, because I'm eating a sandwich, right? Lots of different options here. And we can also do some non-examples here, like if we were to do this with a speaking voice or a yelling voice, if we said, no, I'm asleep, that would be a non-example. But if we said, no, I'm asleep, that would be an appropriate response. Or, no, I'm asleep, or no, I'm asleep. So students are going to respond to that prompt all together. Won't you come out when I knock? And everybody sings their own idea all at the same time. It's just a cacophony of sounds. But we will know that students are doing the curricular improvisation if we hear this bitonic melody of so and me in all of their responses. Even though everyone's singing something different all at the same time, they should all be using the same tone set. Okay, so after a while, we can take individual responses from students who have their hands up. So I might say, won't you come out when I knock? And the student says, no, because I'm playing Roblox. Great, and go on to the next student with their hand up. Won't you come out when I knock? And they give their response. So the idea here is that students are improvising, but they are giving us a specific set of pitches, a specific tone set in their response. Let's move on to a different bird song. This is Pajarito Tan Bonito, and this is one that I have definitely talked about before. It's one that I used from kindergarten all the way through 5th grade, and the song goes like this. Pajarito tan bonito, pajarito, ¿dónde vas? A la cera verdadera, pin, pon, fuera. So, beautiful bird, where are you going? And the bird says that they are going to the honest to goodness sidewalk or the green sidewalk, depending on how you translate the song. In this game, we have a counting out, like around the circle. So we're keeping a steady beat around the circle while we sing. Pajarito tan bonito, pajarito, ¿dónde vas? A la cera verdadera, pin, pon, fuera. And the way I play this game is the person on that last beat, which happens to be a beat without a sound, the person on the very last beat is out. So now, as a B section, let's get into some vocal improvisation. Will you be my echo first, though, while you move from being a bird up in the sky to a bird looking for a worm on the ground. So we're moving. Loo, 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 students, echo. Loo, 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 students, echo. Loo, echo, students echo, loo. Students echo. We're back to the song. Pajarito tan bonito. Great. So you can do this activity just standing in place, still like we're moving our torso up and down, standing in place, or eventually what you can do is have students walk around the room in open space while they sing the song, because the bird, you'll recall in our song, the bird is going somewhere. So students are choosing a pathway. This gets into some fun pathway work as well if you want to put on your Orff movement hat. Students are choosing their pathway that they're going to move around the room while they sing the song, and then they stand still for that B section when we're echoing back and forth. So now will you change those pitches around to create your own bird song? You're still moving from being up in the sky for the high sound and down on the ground looking for a worm for the low sound. So if I sing loo, 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 you might say loo, 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 loo. Or if I say loo, 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 you might say loo, 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 loo. Lots of different options. Let's try it. I sing something, you make up a different bird song, still with your high sound and your low sound. Here I go. Loo, 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 loo. Something different, something different. Loo, 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 loo. Something different, something that is different. Loo, 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 loo. Something different. Last one. Loo. Your turn. Something different, and we stop. Very nice. Another option here is instead of doing a 4-beat phrase, loo, 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 you could do an 8-beat prompt to students and have them give 8 beats back. So loo, 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 loo. You give something different. Loo, 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 loo. So 2 different options, just depending on what students are ready for. 4 beats is very manageable, but there's not much time to make a lot of vocal changes there. 8 beats, we have more room to make more melodic changes, which makes for a more interesting vocal improvisation, but students just need to be able to feel that 8-beat phrase instead of the 4 beats back and forth. Okay, that's Pajarito Tan Bonito. So far, all of the activities that we've looked at have just been with 2 pitches, whether that be so and do for our high sound and our low sound, or earlier, so and mi is our high sound and our low sound. So now let's add a 3rd pitch there to make it just a little bit more complicated. We're going to add in re for mi, re, do patterns. And for this, let's look at Frog in the Meadow. The song goes like this. Frog in the meadow, can't get him out. Take a little stick and stir him about. The way I play this game is as a hidden object game. So one person is the frog and one person is the frog catcher. For the frog, I either use just a stuffed frog like this, or if we have space in the classroom and if you want to make it even more fun, you can have a student play the part of the frog. So either way, the frog catcher is going to be in the middle of the circle. They close their eyes and the frog, either the frog person or the person hiding the frog stuffed animal, they're going to hide the frog somewhere in the room while the rest of the class walks around the circle and sings the song. And then at the end of the song, the frog catcher opens their eyes and they're going to walk around the room and try to find where that frog is hidden. And the closer they get to the frog, the bigger our singing voices are going to be. And the further away they are from the frog, the smaller our singing voices are going to be. So if I am the person moving closer to the frog, we would sing, frog in the meadow, can't get him out. And if I'm moving further away from the frog, it would sound like, frog in the meadow, can't get him out. Still using our singing voice the whole entire time, but it's a difference of a big singing voice and a small singing voice. So after we've played the game several times, let's sing the song again, but this time we are going to jump high, middle, and low to show the high, middle, and low sounds of our song. And when I do this in workshops with teachers and also sometimes with students, I give them the option if they want to actually jump or turn their fingers into people and jump that way. Just depends on how tired students are, what they've just come from, things like that. So let's sing just that first phrase or so of the song. Frog in the meadow, can't get him out. Okay, so now we've thought about the melodic contour and we've put that melodic contour in our bodies with our high and our middle and our low jumps that show the high and middle and low sounds of this melody. So now let's extend this to some vocal improvisation. Students are going to sing jump, jump, jump while they jump with their high and middle and low jumps. And the teacher is going to respond with some type of vocal improvisation using jump and ribbit with Meadow. So this could sound a million different ways. So students sing jump, 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 and I might respond ribbit, 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 jump. Students sing jump, jump, jump. I might sing ribbit, jump. Students sing jump, jump, jump. I might sing ribbit, 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 jump, jump, jump. My turn. Ribbit, ribbit. Back to the song, frog in the meadow. Okay, so this is back and forth. Whatever I sing, students respond with jump, jump, jump. That's always their job. And by the end of this, we are definitely all out of breath. This is a really fun activity if you need to do some jumping around while we get in some vocal improvisation practice. So that might be where we stop for that day, just building some of these aural options. And then on another class, when we come back, students are going to choose if they will, 1, sing the jump, 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 or 2, improvise something back. They get to choose if they're going to sing the call or improvise the response. So let's try it together. I will sing the call and you sing something back to me with ribbits and jumps. So here I go. Jump, jump, jump. Something different, jump, jump, jump. Something different, jump, jump, jump. Something different, jump, jump, jump. And we stop right here. Very nice. So then eventually the teacher is going to sing that first phrase, jump, 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 and everybody responds with a vocal improvisation. But you'll notice that we did not start with everyone improvising right away. Students were singing the call first, then they got to choose if they were going to sing the call or improvise, and then the last step is that everybody improvises. We can do all of these activities exactly how we talked about them here today. Or if we want, we can also link those high and low sounds of the melodic contour to solfege syllables. So we can connect students' vocal improvisations to so and do, or so and me, or to me, re, do, whatever it is. And it just depends on whether or not those solfege syllables are conscious musical knowledge in students' minds, in their musical worlds. And that will depend on where you are in your learning progression of the melodic sequence. So in other words, it depends on just where we are in this progression of sound before sight. If we do want to link these improvisations to conscious knowledge, then we can choose one response from students and have students figure it out on high and low, or on high, middle, low, just depending on the activity. And then we link those high and low sounds, the words that we're giving it to high and low, link those to solfege. So an example is in Frog in the Meadow. If a student response is ribbit, jump, ribbit, jump, then we would figure that out with singing and jumping, ribbit, jump, and make sure that our jumps are moving low to high with the melodic contour. Then let's sing that on low and middle and high, low, low, middle, high, high, low. Let's do it again, low, low, middle, high, high, low. Great. And once we have sung these pitches, and once we have moved to these pitches, well, because we were jumping high and middle and low, and once we have articulated what they sound like by singing low, low, middle, high, high, low, it's very easy for students to figure this out on solfege. Do, do, re, mi, do. And it's that exact same process for the other activities if we want to link this text-based improvisation to our conscious musical vocabulary of the solfege syllables. Conscious vocal improvisation, where we are narrowing in student responses to a specific tone set. This can be tricky, and there are a few things to point out here about these activities that I find make them more successful. First is setting the aural context. Improvisation is an aural skill, and all of these activities that we've done today, they all happen in an aural context. So that means that we already have the overall picture of the music in our minds as far as the tonal center and the phrase structure and the style and things like that. We have built like a tonal world for us to play in with our improvisation. And again, that's because we are improvising as a part of a song that students know and know well. We're not asking students to randomly improvise something out of the blue. Everything is in a context. That is important because vocally, we will give an output that is in line with the tonality and the meter and the weight, all of these things. We're going to give a vocal output that's in line with the tonal context we have orally. Now, along those same lines, you'll also notice that I gave several potential correct answers in these activities. One example was Cuckoo in the Clock, where I gave several reasons that the bird couldn't come out. And within that, so those several reasons, I was doing several different versions of those rhythms. Like, I don't remember if I did brushing my teeth, but if I did, no, because I'm brushing my teeth, or no, because I'm brushing my teeth, or no, because I'm brushing my teeth, or no, because I'm brushing my teeth. All of these are serving to give students many different options of the correct answer within the parameters that we're setting for this activity. And the nice thing is that just playing the game and listening to the bird give silly answers back about why they can't come out, that is enough for students. That can be the whole entire 4-minute activity with this song for a class or two. That's our mile marker of where we can pause this activity. And then after a few classes of doing this, again, it is going to take a few classes, but they're like 4 minutes at a time. Then we can invite students to give us their own responses back. And the point of pausing is that students have lots of different options for what their vocal improvisations can sound like. This is a layered musical experience, not something that we are going to do in the very first lesson where we play the game for the first time. I find that for curricular improvisation to be successful, it's really important that we connect our ears to our bodies. And you'll notice that in all of these activities, we had a physical movement that we were doing with the melodic contour. So for example, in the case of Frog in the Meadow, we were jumping to our high, middle, and low sounds. I see a huge difference in students' tonal accuracy when they are involving their bodies versus when they are sitting still. Vocal improvisation can feel very abstract. It is not like playing target keys on a barred instrument. So having something tactile that students can kind of hang on to, that is really important. And the other reason that we involve movement is that students just need to move. When we engage our body, we are going to engage our brains, and the focus of the classroom just goes way up. So engage the body to engage the voice. The last thing to think about here is that you'll notice in our curricular improvisation, we were using target pitches for all of these activities, but students were improvising on text or a neutral syllable, like no, because I'm brushing my teeth, or loo, 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 or ribbit, ribbit, jump. All of those are text or neutral syllables, not on solfege. And that is because in general, I do not often ask students to improvise vocally using solfege syllables. Not that I never do it, but it's pretty rare for me. I find that if I ask students to improvise vocally on solfege, what I get oftentimes might be the target pitches with the incorrect label, or I get the correct label with the incorrect pitches. And what I mean is, if I sing jump, 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 a student might respond with mi, mi, re, do, do, mi. So they're singing within that tonal context, and they're singing a mi, re, do pattern, but the syllables don't match up with their melodic contour. Does that make sense? Now, we will do creative activities with solfege vocally, like vocal arranging or vocal composition, but it's rare that I ask students to improvise vocally with solfege. And improvisation, in the way that I am using that word, is something that exists in the moment and then it's gone. It is simultaneous thinking a musical thought while outputting that musical thought. We can go back and polish that improvisation up. We can go back and refine it. But once we take it out of the past and bring it back and start to polish it up, it's no longer an improvisation. That would be something like we might call an arrangement or a composition, just depending on the activity. And that's because it's preserved. We have kind of solidified it there. So it's not an improvisation anymore. We can improvise something and then go back and figure out what solfege we just used in our melody. But expecting students to simultaneously link the pitch with the syllable with the hand sign is pretty rare for me. Okay, in these vocal improvisation activities, we are improvising with a musical vocabulary. We're improvising within a specific set of target pitches. If you're following a sound before sight approach, this can happen early in the process when we're just experiencing and exploring music, or it can happen later on in the process when we're using conscious musical vocabulary and conscious musical knowledge of our solfege tone set. And if that sequence of steps to teach musical skills and understandings is interesting to you, you might be interested in this next video coming up all about the process of sound before sight.